Some boats fail, others disappoint, but the ones on this list were truly hazardous. These models earned their reputations through design flaws, structural weaknesses, and engineering mistakes that made them unsafe from day one. From unstable family cruisers to high-speed models that became risks at full throttle, these are the 10 most dangerous boats ever built. But before we start, don't forget to hit that subscribe button to not miss a single boating video. 10. Thompson MFG Tri-Hulls, 1970s. The 1970s. Thompson tri-hulls were intended to provide stability and smooth rides, but their design created dangerous, punishing boats. Instead of handling waves effectively, they slammed and nosedived unpredictably, making them nearly uncontrollable in choppy conditions. Lakes that should have been ideal for recreational boating became hazardous environments, as poor handling led to capsizing incidents and injuries. The nosediving tendency was especially dangerous, potentially throwing passengers overboard or causing the hull to submarine. What should have been enjoyable rides turned into endurance tests, exposing riders to repeated impacts. Passengers often suffered spinal injuries, broken bones, and concussions from the constant pounding, highlighting the serious flaws in Thompson's execution. The combination of unstable tri-hull geometry and unpredictable performance made these boats hazardous, showing how a poorly executed design can turn a recreational vessel into a persistent threat to safety. 9. Penn Yan runabouts, 1970s. Penn Yan boats from the 1970s were built for freshwater but were often used in saltwater, where poor corrosion resistance caused rapid deterioration. Hull rot and weakened fittings created hidden dangers, with structural failures often only appearing in rough seas or coastal conditions, catching owners by surprise. While reliable in lakes and rivers, saltwater exposure turned these boats into hazards. Corrosion compromised hull integrity, hardware, and fittings, and what began as minor rust could escalate into serious structural failure. Owners who treated them like freshwater craft faced emergencies in conditions the boats weren't designed for. The Penn Yan case highlights the importance of using vessels only in their intended environments, showing that even well-built boats can become dangerous when misapplied, emphasizing the critical link between design, materials, and proper use in ensuring safety on the water. 8. Sportcraft 23-foot models. Sportcraft boats from earlier decades had a critical design flaw: poorly constructed transoms that allowed water to enter, especially when the boat was at rest with weight in the stern. The 23-foot models were particularly prone to flooding, making routine stops like anchoring or fishing unexpectedly dangerous. In rough conditions, this design weakness could quickly turn outings into life-threatening situations. The flaw was not obvious to buyers, as the boats appeared sound on showroom floors. Only once on the water did owners discover the problem, often finding themselves bailing water in conditions that should have been safe. Some boats swamped or sank before reaching shore, highlighting the severity of the design oversight. Sportcraft's engineering issues serve as a cautionary tale, showing how attractive styling and surface quality cannot compensate for fundamental structural problems that compromise safety and reliability on the water. 7. Renken boats, 1980s to 1990s. Renken boats from the 1980s and 1990s, nicknamed Stenen Renkens in Charleston, South Carolina, developed a reputation for poor performance and construction. Founded in 1958, the company grew until a 1985 fire forced a rebuild, and a second generation ran it until foreclosure in 1995 led to a sale of assets. These boats were underpowered, cheaply built, and often required multiple engine replacements. Structural weaknesses made them unsafe in rough waters, though they fared better in lakes or calm conditions. After the company closed, manufacturer support vanished, leaving owners struggling to find parts and complete repairs. Dealers themselves admitted the boats were substandard, ranking them among the worst they had seen. Renken boats exemplify how cost-cutting and poor engineering can compromise safety, reliability, and longevity, serving as a cautionary tale in recreational boating history. 6. 1990s Malibu wake boats. 1990s Malibu wake boats carried a hidden, deadly risk: carbon monoxide poisoning. Their stern-heavy designs and poorly ventilated exhaust systems made activities like teak surfing particularly dangerous, as riders on swim platforms were exposed to invisible CO buildup. In low-speed or low-wind conditions, carbon monoxide could accumulate quickly, incapacitating people before they realized the danger. The combination of enclosed exhaust areas and proximity to passengers created a perfect hazard. Tragically, these incidents were preventable with proper ventilation and design. Many owners were unaware of the risks until fatalities and serious injuries drew public attention. These boats illustrate how vessels marketed for family fun can become life-threatening when safety and engineering oversight fail. The widespread incidents ultimately led to reforms in exhaust and ventilation standards, highlighting the critical importance of safety-focused design in recreational boating to prevent invisible, yet deadly, hazards like carbon monoxide exposure. 5. 1990s Mastercraft wakeboats. 1990s Mastercraft wakeboats, like Malibu models, were linked to multiple carbon monoxide incidents that caused deaths and serious injuries. Their stern-heavy designs and poorly ventilated exhaust systems created invisible danger zones at the back of the boat. The risk was highest during activities like teak or wake surfing, where riders stayed on swim platforms at low speeds or while idling, allowing CO to accumulate quickly. Marketed as premium family boats, these vessels exposed children and adults to hidden hazards. Carbon monoxide, being colorless and odorless, often caused confusion and weakness before unconsciousness, leaving victims unable to escape. These incidents reveal how design flaws in recreational boats can turn routine family activities into life-threatening situations. The Mastercraft cases underscore the critical importance of proper exhaust ventilation, safety-focused engineering, and awareness to prevent invisible yet deadly dangers on the water. 4. Grady White, 204 C Hatteras Overnighter, pre-1990s. Early Grady White boats, particularly the 204 C Hatteras Overnighter, suffered from serious hidden flaws despite the brand's reputation. Poor sealing against saltwater allowed water to seep into transoms and stringers, causing wood rot that compromised hull integrity. This wasn't just cosmetic. Structural weakening could lead to catastrophic failure in rough conditions. Owner reports and forum discussions describe water intrusion through plastic, through hull drains and unsealed joints with aluminum angle iron, while early 1990s models used non-rot resistant wood, leaving transoms soft around mounting screws and cores, constantly damp. By the late 1990s, material changes addressed the issue, but earlier boats had already been affected. For owners, even routine trips in challenging waters could become dangerous, as weakened hulls turned ordinary boating conditions into potential emergencies. This problem represents a rare but serious chapter in a brand otherwise known for quality, reliability, and craftsmanship. 3. Century Coronado, 1970s to 1980s. Century boats from the 1970s and 1980s, particularly the Coronado models, combined stylish design with serious structural flaws. While buyers admired their sleek lines and over-padded interiors, construction issues made them hazardous. Extensive use of woven roving in the fiberglass layup often led to delamination, weakening hulls over time. Saltwater exposure accelerated deterioration, compromising hulls, fittings, and hardware, which could fail unexpectedly under stress. These problems were widespread, affecting multiple models rather than isolated boats. Vessels that looked solid and elegant often hid serious weaknesses, turning routine outings into potential emergencies. For owners and boating enthusiasts, the Coronado serves as a cautionary example of how prioritizing aesthetics over engineering and safety can create dangerous conditions. The model highlights the critical importance of structural integrity, quality materials, and proper construction in recreational boat design to ensure both performance and safety on the water. 2. Bayliner Motor Yacht 3388 pre-1990s. In the 1970s and 1980s, Bayliner led the affordable boat market, but cost-cutting created serious safety risks. The Motor Yacht 3388 exemplified these issues, with 14 complaint types recorded by the Coast Guard and 3,257 boats recalled. Some models had batteries dangerously close to fuel lines, creating fire hazards, while stability problems made larger boats difficult to handle. Low-quality materials and construction caused hulls to crack under stress, leaving owners stranded in rough waters. Many came with unreliable force motors, and even basic features like seat cushions deteriorated quickly, reflecting poor quality control. Despite its popularity, the 3388 shows how prioritizing affordability over engineering and safety can produce vessels that are hazardous. Boats that looked appealing were prone to mechanical failures and structural weaknesses, turning what should have been routine recreational boating into potentially dangerous situations for owners and passengers alike. 1. Bayliner Capri, pre-1990s. The pre-1990s Bayliner Capri is considered one of the most dangerous boats ever built. As Bayliner's entry-level model, it illustrates the risks of prioritizing profit over safety and quality. The small hull had serious stability issues, struggling in conditions other boats managed easily, and hatches could sag under minimal weight, revealing weak construction. Many Capri came with unreliable force outboards prone to failure, while materials throughout the boat were low quality and deteriorated quickly. Even among beginner-level Bayliners, the Capri stood out as particularly unsafe. Its combination of poor stability, flimsy construction, substandard materials, and unreliable engines made it a floating hazard. Ordinary boating conditions could quickly become dangerous, turning leisure outings into potential emergencies. The Capri remains a cautionary example of how cost-cutting and neglecting engineering standards in recreational boats can create severe safety risks for owners and passengers alike. These 10 boats show that not every vessel is safe. From carbon monoxide hazards to weak hulls that could collapse, these designs caused injuries and deaths. Each failure taught the marine industry valuable lessons, shaping the safety standards we have today. Have you encountered any of these dangerous boats? Share your experiences to help warn others. Don't forget to subscribe. We'll see you in the next video.